All right, let's dive into a mystery that's right at the heart of artificial intelligence. It's a story about a hidden flaw, a deep crack in the foundation of our most advanced systems, and an ancient idea that might just be the one thing that can save it. Picture this. You're in a boardroom. The pressure's on. You look up at the screen and 3 different dashboards are telling you 3 completely different stories about revenue. The data's all there, but the truth, it's gone missing. And you know what? This isn't some made-up scenario. This is happening right now in boardrooms everywhere. And this brings us to this really strange paradox, right? We've built AI that can write poetry, that can create stunning art from nothing, and yet it can't get a basic business number right. So you've got to ask yourself, how can these incredibly intelligent systems be so spectacularly wrong? Well, it turns out the answer isn't about getting more data, and it's not about building faster computers. The problem is something much deeper, something that's been overlooked. It's about a missing layer, a shared understanding of what all that data actually means. To find the solution, we actually have to go way, way back to an idea that's literally thousands of years old. A piece of forgotten wisdom that is suddenly becoming one of the most critical concepts in modern tech. This is the story of ontology. Believe it or not, this whole thing kicks off with Aristotle. Yep, that Aristotle, around 350 BC. He was trying to map out reality itself, what things are, what they're like, and how they all connect. Fast forward a couple thousand years to the 20th century, and computer scientists dusted off this idea to help machines represent knowledge. Then, right around 1999, the inventor of the World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee, imagined a semantic web built on this very idea, where machines could finally understand the meaning behind the information. So what is an ontology? In our world anyway, the best way to think about it is like a blueprint for meaning, a strict machine-readable rulebook. It doesn't just give you a list of words like customer or revenue, it defines exactly what they are and, this is the crucial part, it locks in how they're related. For instance, a customer can purchase a product, and that action generates revenue. It's the unambiguous guide to how a little piece of the world works.
But if this idea was so powerful, why did it kind of fade away? Well, like in any good story, a rival showed up. A completely new way of thinking that promised the one thing everyone wanted: speed, and lots of it.
And this really gets to the heart of a huge trade-off that was made. On one side, you've got ontology. It's all about precision and meaning, but it's hard work. You have to carefully model the world first. On the other side, machine learning. Totally different philosophy. Its motto is basically, just throw a mountain of data at it and let the machine figure out the patterns. It's incredibly scalable, it's adoptable, and it was way, way faster. So faced with this choice, precision versus speed, the industry, well, it made its bed. We chose speed. We chose scale. And this idea of let the data speak for itself completely took over. It seemed to work for a while, but we were creating this massive, invisible debt of meaning. And now we are living with the consequences of that bet. We've hit a crisis point, a moment where our most powerful AI models are saying things that sound perfectly confident, perfectly fluent, and are completely made up. The flaw that was hiding under the surface is now out in the open for everyone to see. You've probably heard about this. It's the so-called hallucination problem. And yeah, sometimes it's funny when an AI gets something wrong. But think about it in a business context or in medicine. These plausible but totally wrong answers are incredibly dangerous. They kill the most important thing you can have in any system: trust. And here's exactly why it happens. Let's go back to that boardroom. The AI fails because a simple word like customer doesn't mean just one thing. To the finance department, a customer is a paying entity. Makes sense. But to sales, a customer could just be a lead, someone they're talking to. And for marketing, it could be anyone who registered for the newsletter. The AI learns all of these conflicting definitions without any context to tell them apart. And this is the absolute key takeaway. AI by itself does not understand the world. It is a ridiculously good pattern matcher. That's it. Without something to ground it in reality, it's just going to reflect back all the chaos and confusion in the data we give it. But here's where the story takes a turn. This whole crisis has forced us to rethink everything. And that forgotten idea, the hero we left behind in our rush to scale, it's making a comeback. Ontology is back, and it might just be exactly what we need. For years, this was the way we did things. We'd take raw, messy, undefined data and just throw it straight at our AI models. And what did we get? Well, we got unreliable, inconsistent, and frankly, untrustworthy junk.
But the new model, well, it adds one crucial step right in the middle. Now we take that raw data and we pass it through an ontology first, that blueprint for meaning. This layer defines, clarifies, and connects the information before it ever gets to the AI. And the output? Insights you can actually trust.
So by acting as this, let's call it a ground truth layer, an ontology gives us everything that was missing. It makes sure customer means the same thing to every system. It gets rid of all the ambiguity that causes errors. This, of course, makes the AI way more accurate, and maybe most importantly, it lets us see why the AI made a decision. That's how you build real explainability and trust. And this isn't just about fixing old problems. This is about building the future of AI. We're heading into this new era. It's called neurosymbolic AI, which is just a fancy way of saying our two old rivals, the pattern-matching brain of neural networks and the structured logic of ontologies, are finally teaming up. So here's how this powerful alliance actually works. You ask a question in plain English. The LLM is amazing at figuring out the intent of what you want. But then, and this is the magic part, instead of just guessing an answer from patterns it's seen, it consults the ontology. The ontology acts like a fact checker, providing the rules and relationships of your business. It guides the system to the right data from the right place, and only then does the LLM construct an answer that's not just well-written, but is actually correct and grounded in fact.
And look, this isn't some far-off future tech. It's happening right now. In finance, ontologies are mapping out complex relationships to spot fraud rings a human could never see. In healthcare, they're creating a common language for medical terms to prevent dangerous, even life-threatening mistakes. This alliance is already proving its worth anywhere that trust is an absolute must-have.
So after this whole journey, we arrive at a pretty surprising place. For decades, we were obsessed with one thing: data. Bigger data, faster data, more data.
But we were focused on the wrong thing. The real problem, the final hurdle to building truly smart, reliable systems, it was never about the data. It has always been about meaning. And that's what ontologies bring to the table. They are that missing bridge. They are the structure that finally connects the chaotic world of raw data to the clear, reliable world of real intelligence. They are, quite simply, the foundation of trust. So that leaves us with one last really important question to think about. If meaning is the absolute key to building AI we can trust, how is your organization defining it? Because let's be honest, in the end, if you can't define what your data means, you can't possibly trust what your AI says about it.